everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the Cryptoverse. Here we are just going to bring home the weekly close. So we have a weekly close in about 20 minutes or so. Might as well watch it come in, see where we end up. There can sometimes be a decent amount of volatility around this time, so we're just going to see what happens. And answer any questions. I mean, right now we're at 23.4, 23.5. The 20-week moving average is currently around 13.9, almost 14K. The 21-week EMA is around 14.8, 14.9. So this has been the weekly candle for the last week. So let me just post this in a couple different places. So, let me see. Yes. All right. So, live show. We're not gonna stay live that long. Don't worry. We're just going live to welcome in the new weekly candle. So we're just going to go live for like 20 minutes or so. How's everyone doing? So what, the last week we went up from the bottom. Let's just go to the candle. The candle ranged about 22%, 22.66%. If we had another one from there, that same percentage, that would get us up to close to $29,000. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this next weekly candle will extend the run or not. But no, markets are not opening in the U.S. It's Sunday night. It's just that UTC time. We get the weekly close at 5 p.m. My time, and it's 12 a.m. UTC time. Yeah, it feels good to quit the day job. The move earlier was pretty interesting because we came back down to that same level we dipped back to yesterday, right around 23.1, like 23,100 or so. So a lot of volatility here. So I imagine a lot of stop losses are getting triggered in those hunts, but. Someone says, "Oh, look, Benjamin's taskbar." Yeah, everyone always tells me to hide it, but I just leave it there. Any chance of alts not pumping because of all the money is institutional? I don't think that's necessarily the reason. I mean, obviously that's the narrative, but maybe that could be the reason, but I think the underlying reason is alts won't typically pump until Bitcoin stops. That's historically been the reason. I mean, like, I know it's easy to think, well, this time is different, but in the past, until Bitcoin stops its run, altcoins just generally will not take off. It has, and back then we didn't have institutions, and it was the same thing, right? If Bitcoin was moving, altcoins were not, or altcoins were getting slowly, they were being slowly dragged up by Bitcoin, but they would not pump significantly until Bitcoin stopped. Make sure you guys subscribe and give the video a thumbs up if you guys like the content. let's just bring the 20-week moving average. We're gonna watch the 20-week moving average move up to its next level. I mean, we could pretty quickly get a rough estimate, right? Because if we'll see how close we get. So if we go from here and we go back 20 weeks, we're essentially replacing, 11K with 23.5, right? So if we're replacing 23.5 minus 11K gives you 12.5 divided by 26.25. So unless this is updated already on the daily time frame, which I'm not sure if it is, then we could see the 20-week moving average over 14.5. We could see it over 14.5 if this has not been updated on the daily time frames. And currently it's 13.9, the 20-week moving average. Clearly we're going to go above 14K. I think we might even go above 14.5. So we'll see exactly where we come in about 16 minutes. How likely is it to not see a dip below 20K? The thing is we have months, right? I mean, Bitcoin could go to 30K and still dip below 20K, because a dip from 30K to 20K is still on the cards in a bull market. We've seen 40% corrections in a bull market, right? We've seen 40% corrections even in a bull market before. So 20K, where's 20? So 20K is right here. So even if the price rallied to say 30K, let's suppose that it did, because we did a video earlier saying, what if it makes it to 30K? Even if it went to 30K, a 33% drop would take us back to the prior all-time high of 20K. And we know that 30 and 40% drops are still very likely possible during a bull market, right? We've seen these before. And so we don't want to lose sight of that, right? We know that we can have these drops. It's just a matter of time. We'll see when it happens. I mean, it could happen in December, January, February. If it happens in March, it will have gone, I think, the longest time it's ever gone. But we still have a long way to go before we get to setting, setting new precedents. So still could happen in January, still could happen in February. Note the 20-week moving average is moving up rather quickly. So as long as we want to maintain the integrity of the bull market, we need to maintain that as support. I mean, obviously we're nowhere close to it right now, but it is around 14K, probably about to go above 14.5, maybe even 14.6 here in about 14 minutes. We're currently at 23.5. Any reason I use the 20-week instead of the 140-day? They're the same thing, right? 20 weeks times 7 is 140 days. %40 drops even with all institutions. It's possible. I don't know. This market cycle might not be as volatile as the last one. Maybe we won't have 40% drops. But there were institutions buying in September. Grayscale has been buying for a long time, and it didn't stop. It didn't stop the 20% drop in December. It didn't stop, that dip there that went down 16%. These got bought up relatively quickly. But just because you have institutions buying doesn't mean the price can't go down. Yeah, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, like Matthew said it, and I said this in another video, I imagine a lot of the institutional buying. There could be more coming in, but I don't imagine there's a ton of institutions looking to FOMO in. Maybe they are. They're people too, but a lot of the institutional buying we know took place around this level. right? I mean, there was a lot of institutional buying in here, and some of it we didn't find out about until a little bit later. You know, I mean, coming in up here is a lot riskier, right? It's a lot riskier. Do I think we're at a sustainable 20K? Not necessarily. I mean, we haven't even been above 20K for a week, so I don't think we can really say that. I mean, it would be nice to see the 20-week moving average above 20K, and holding it as support, because you know we didn't. You could argue that our 10K was not sustainable until the 20-week moving average got up to the to 10K, as well as our regression band, the fair value, got up to around that level as well. So you could argue that, you know, it took us a long time. Even if you think about 10K, right? I mean, Bitcoin hit 10K, just for some perspective, right? Bitcoin hit 10K in 2017, in 2018, in 2019, in 2020, right? And so far, we only suppose that it's sustainable now, but it has been. Bitcoin was 10K in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. There was some time during that year where Bitcoin was below 10K, and sometime during that year when Bitcoin was above 10K. So in that situation, it took us, you know, like several years from 2017 before we might finally be above it in a sustainable way. Now, when you get to the bubble phase, right, it's not the same thing. It's not necessarily like you have to spend years testing it, because there's a lot of areas in here, right? You know, like $400, 500, 600, 700, and it's not like we had to test it for years and years and years, right? We just went past it, and then the bubble, when it came back down, was still a lot higher than some of these levels. So we're not saying that 20K is going to be the same longest. Sorry, we have some spammers in the chat. Yeah, I'm getting spammed. That's okay. Some people don't have that much to do with their time, so instead they spam the chat. So, anyways, so we're not. I mean, we're certainly not saying that 20K is going to take like 4 years to be sustainable or anything. But I don't think it's. I don't think we can necessarily say it's already reached, you know, that point where we can necessarily claim that it's a sustainable 20K when we were below it last week. Omar coming back. No, we're not going to do a 10K leverage right now. So we have 8 more minutes. 8 more minutes until the weekly close. Why no tip function? I just don't want tips. Dogecoin greater than Bitcoin. I don't think that's true. How would you suggest someone DCA into Bitcoin? I mean, it depends. If you don't have any, right, then you could lump sum and then DCA. Yeah, we just did a video on Litecoin like a day ago or so. Was I mad when Crypto stole my technicals? No, I mean I gave him permission to use it, so I was not mad at all. I was happy. I'm not gonna tell you how much Bitcoin I have. Alright, we have it coming in 6 minutes, the weekly close, so let's just see where it ends up. And then we'll see where the 20-week moving average is at the time. Yeah, I mean we've looked at the RSI on the weekly chart. It's obviously pretty overbought. Right? There's no way around it. I mean, you can see how high we are. So that's the weekly RSI. We're essentially near the summer top of 2017 and then the December top of 2017. The summer top was followed by from here it was followed by about a 40% correction to the 20-week, and then this one was followed by a 40 to 50% correction to the 20-week, but ultimately it went down like 70%. So we're getting pretty overbought here. But I mean, the thing with the RSI is that it can stay like this for a long time. So I mean, it's not necessarily required that it dumps tomorrow or anything, right? It can stay up at these levels for weeks. So I mean, you know, I'm not saying that it necessarily has to dump right away, but sure. I mean, surely at some point it will come back down and test the 20-week. Yeah, I mean the RSI right now is at 88, and the highest it reached in 2017 was around 90, and then also 90 in May. So basically it reached between 90 and 91 in 2017 a couple times. Right now it's at 88. So again, I mean, you know, it's all fun, right? It's all fun when it's going up. Everyone's loving it. And it's crazy times, right? The narratives are there, and then when it goes down, and it will come back down at some point. I don't know when it's going to be, but when it does come back down, you know, obviously you say, okay, where's the institutional money now? But we'll see. I mean, again, it can stay this level for weeks and weeks before it comes back down. So. Brian says, thinking of moving Ethereum back to Bitcoin. ETH will pump when I do. Don't worry. So maybe Brian's gonna take one for the team and sell his Ethereum, so the rest of us can ride Ethereum back up. All right, we have 3 more minutes until the weekly close. We're currently at 23,485. Yeah, sometimes we get these spammers in the chat. There's really nothing I can do about them, except ban them, ban them, which is kind of fun. It can be therapeutic, of course. Actually, you know, one thing I can do is I can turn on slow mode. So now the spammers have lost a little bit of their ability to spam. All right, we are now at 23,478. we'll switch it back because we have 2 minutes now. Let's switch it back to the weekly candles, and we'll remove this, and we'll see where in fact we come in at. Yeah, I did slow down the chat. All right, we're at 23.5. We're almost there. I think the connection's getting a little funny. Do I see a dump in the near future? I mean, probably within the next couple months. $23,477. It looks like we're about, so we should start the next monthly or the next weekly candle here at about a minute. 20 week right now is at 13,987. There it is. And as we said, right, it's now at 14,576. So we said between 14.5, 14.6 or so. So the 20 week now is at 14,576. So the Bitcoin bull market support band pushes up. The 21 week EMA is 15,644. So you can see, I mean, they're quickly moving up. And so if we were to dump from here to get back down to this level, it would be a 37% dump. If we say went to 30K first and say dumped the following week, it'd be like, I mean, it would take a few weeks, but it could be, it could be a pretty significant dump. Anyways, we're not saying we're going to dump there anytime soon necessarily, but it's just something to keep an eye on and to know at all times where it is. That way, if it does start dumping, that would be where the Bitcoin bull market support band is. The nice thing when Bitcoin gets to these levels is like it puts in a new all-time high like every other day. Yeah, so if we... Yeah, let's pull up the weekly RSI again, actually. So yeah, we came down a little, but we're still around 48 or 88 or so, 87, 88. All right, well, maybe, I mean, there's a little bit of volatility, but nothing crazy. I mean, it's 23,386. I'll probably just sign off here in a minute because I just wanted to do a quick live stream as we saw the 20-week moving average move up. Again, it's now at 14,572, and the 21-week EMA is at 15.6K. So that's our support band in the event of a dump this week. But again, there's still a good chance we push higher, and this keeps moving up, and this will keep moving up as long as we continue to push higher. So again, it's not a fixed target, it's a moving target. The 20-week SMA is obviously not fixed, and so we want to keep an eye on where it is in the event of a dump back down. And right now it would correspond to 14.5 up to 15.6. Don Joe, name calling's not allowed. Say goodbye. All right. Any other questions before we sign off? DXY. Yeah. Moving up a little. 90.2. I only drew this one because it was where, if you look at this, I was gonna make a dedicated video on this, but if you look at the dollar index, you can see where it bottomed was in Q1 of 2018, and this was when the bear market started, and the bear market extended for quite a while, and it's only recently, right? I mean, the dollar was moving up until March of 2020, right? And March of 2020, Bitcoin was at $3,800 at the bottom, and it's now been going down, and it's almost at the same level that it was in 2017 when Bitcoin peaked. So again, that's also likely driving this Bitcoin short-term volatility, is the fact that the dollar has been losing value pretty quickly over the last few months. So yeah, keep an eye on DXY. It'll help you stay alert on exactly what the dollar's doing. Do I have gold? Yeah, I have a little bit, but not much. Yeah, we actually just put out a video on the Bitcoin dominance. You can see it here, right? So I mean, it depends on what time frame you look at, right? I mean, I was zoomed in to this region here, right? We've had lower highs throughout the year, throughout the last like 18 months, and lower lows. But again, it's always a matter of perspective, right? It's a matter of whether this trend continues and then we come back down, or it's a matter of whether this trend continues and the dominance continues to push up. So we'll just have to wait and see. The dominance right now is at 67, and in September of 2019 it was at 73. In December of 2019 it was at 71. In June of 2020 it was at 69. In December of 2020 it was at 67. So it has been moving down steadily over the last like 18 months or so. And then the lows have also been getting lower. So it was 67 in July of 2019. In February of 2020 it was 62. And then in September of 2020 it was 57. How can you add this indicator? This is, just draw the lines. Draw the lines. When do I expect alts to have their turn? Not a specific time frame, more like whenever Bitcoin volatility stops. There's a good chance that happens in Q1. But again, it ultimately just depends on when Bitcoin volatility stops. Is likely when altcoins can get moving, as long as Bitcoin doesn't just have a complete dump back to the 20-week moving average. If it does that, then altcoin imminent moves probably might be kicked down the road a bit. Not that one, the previous one. Oh, the other indicators are just for the premium list. So just check out the description below if you want access to the indicators, as well as a few other things. But also, we do have a Telegram channel. If you guys want to carry the chat over there, you can. We have almost 10,500 people in that chat, so I'll just link it in case you guys want to join it. Yeah, we just talked about the DXY. I mean, it is moving up a little bit, right? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I mean, everyone's talking about it like it's crazy. It has started moving up very slightly. This is nothing that significant yet. So here's our new weekly candle starting. Yeah, I did buy some Litecoin a few days ago, mainly because Bitcoin was above its prior all-time high, and as I said all along, right, if XRP and Litecoin are still in okay territory when Bitcoin gets above it, then it probably would be worth picking up a bag. So what do you guys think? Do you think this new weekly candle is going to continue to push up, or do you think it's going to come back down below 20K? Or go sideways, I guess, would be the third option. A lot of people say, well, someone says up. So a mix of answers, nothing too overwhelming. All right, guys. I think we're gonna jump off. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up if you guys like it. Currently, Bitcoin's at 23,539, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see if it pushes us higher, up to higher levels like 25K, 30K, and we have a more significant short-term blow off top, or if we slowly bleed back down. Again, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the short term. I do think it's still too early to say we're at a sustainable 20K, especially when the 20-week moving average is still below 15K. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content. All we're doing is bringing in the new weekly candle. Remember to check out the premium list in the description below. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.